I got 14 minutes of memory left. So I'm going to include a link in the description titled Daxten of a video that I made for this kid, and he's a kid, about the real work we're doing here. There's real people involved. Real lives are at stake. And this is the real work called the great work, turning good men into better men and sharing brotherly love. And when I made this video and sent it to those 5 people that I mentioned, Daxten, Tarek, one of the 3 amigos, Steve is the other of the 3 amigos. Daxten, Tarek, and Steve. 3 guys that have been fucking with me since as long as I can remember on this job. I sent that video to Daxten, to Tarek, to Bud and Brad, the number 1 and 2 in command, and to Parker, the son of the owner of the company who took the lobe squeeze challenge and can verify for you, yeah, Jeff's got an implant behind his ear. Parker's 22, 23 maybe. So I sent that video that I made for Daxten to those 5 people, and at this point it's got about 50 views or more. That means all of them watched it 10 times, or they shared it with some other people. They wouldn't share it with some other people or watch it 10 times if there wasn't some powerful knowledge and information to be had in that video. So now that I've given you the backstory, because that day I just told you what happened. I backed it up, I got off the hill. Steve, the 50-something-year-old mentor of Daxten, told me, you can do that. Just drive it down the hill. Yeah, you can go for it, man. Just hop in there and drive it. I said, go ahead. Show me how. Oh, no. What do you want, a track hoe or something? I stopped him and said, wait, you just told me to do it and you're not willing to do it? Well, you're the one that got it on the hill. What? He shut the fuck up and walked away. 5 minutes later, Daxten, after me saying, fuck you, fuck both of you, to Daxten and Steve, after about 5, maybe even 10 minutes of contemplation, it was at least 5, Daxten got in there, drove it down the hill, and got lucky. There's 2 systems that could have kicked in. One is a throttle limiter. The other one is an auto brake engage. 2 separate systems. If either one of those would have kicked in, he wouldn't have been able to power through it down the hill, and he almost rolled it the other way when he got to the bottom of the hill. Link will be in the description of a video titled Daxten. Regarding this guy, I paid a visit to at Drawn to Dragons in the mall. I spoke with his wife the previous Saturday, the 21st. Told her, dragons are real, you know. You heard of the mosasaurs? She's like, yeah, they're called mosasaurs, and they're fossils. They're aquatic. I said, reptile. Yeah, I know. And that was about it. She was on the phone with someone. I didn't want to interrupt her. I said, maybe I'll stop by another time when I'm not interrupting your phone call. So I stopped back by yesterday. She wasn't there, but her husband was, and another guy from an art studio just around the corner titled Rat King Art. And I brought in about 5 pieces of plasma wood with me. And I made the presentation and proposal that we set up my plasma wood here at your art studio called Drawn to Dragons. Tell people that inquire, it'll draw a lot of attention to your art studio. And in fact, before I even brought them in, I said, in fact, it might draw so much attention, you might get some people come in here and try to pay you to not put this on display. And the husband of the woman that paints the dragons, he runs the business end. And the other guy from the other business around the corner called Rat King Art. We're both standing there listening to me start into my presentation. And they both are just salesmen and shysters at this point. Oh yeah. Pay you to not present it, yeah. Yeah, to prevent any panic. Oh yeah, panic. They're both nodding and smiling at that point. And I bring in a couple of my pieces. And I tell them, you can tell people that stop by to look at these that you got to get these from the dragon's lair. And this is dragon breath that burns these like this. I ended up bringing in that pile of metal, melted metal, that dripped down onto some unburnt twigs and sticks. Told them this is what happens when a car tries to get too close and doesn't have a deal made with the dragon. My point is, whether it's Daxten and Steve and Tarek, even Brad and Bud, your authority is gone. Welcome to my world. Say goodbye to yours. Your money doesn't matter. And these guys at the art studio, Drawn to Dragons, didn't seem to get it. He tried to buy one of my pieces off of me for $100. All wealth is knowledge, and all economic growth is learning. These pieces that I have are economic engines, wealth generators. They generate knowledge to the first person who comes along and looks at it and starts thinking. They've acquired the wealth of knowledge that's embedded in those pieces. They have just got a stimulus package to their own personal economy that stimulates an economic boom cycle of learning. All wealth is knowledge, all economic growth is learning, and these pieces are economic engines of their own, like a passive income stream, a business that generates and generates and generates more and more and more wealth, more and more knowledge, more and more learning. Why would I sell them to some asshole who wants to put it in his basement to impress his friends? Your world is over. This is the new world order, and the God that I serve is heading up the new world order. So, I went in there and took about 4 or 5 of my plasma wood pieces, some of the better ones. Told him I want to set these up here at the front of your shop where he's got some crates and pallets where you can put up a display of the plasma fired trees. It would definitely draw some attention. And we could figure out a way to market it if you want. I told him I'll do tours. I'll take them on a guided tour out to the dragon's lair. Or they could commission future work where they pay me, since I've proven that I can do it, to go out there and make more pieces. But I don't want to sell these. These are my display. These are my economic engines that I generate knowledge with, that I stimulate the growth cycle of learning with. If I get rid of these, how am I going to teach people? And these have science, history, psychology and sociology, and art embedded within them. Art is the basic part. You can see that. These guys are art dealers. So they thought they smelled blood in the water and became fucking piranhas. By the end, as I'm taking my pieces away, the asshole from Rat King Art, I went back in there and showed him the texts that I sent to Bud, number 2 in command, at the place I work. I sent him these texts a couple months ago. As I'm showing him, look, I got pictures of me touching these logs on the outside while they're burning on the inside. You can see flames coming up out from under my hands. These are still frames that I sent Bud when I originally sent him 6 or 8 links to Plasma Fire. He said, yeah, that's nice. I said, and I have video of me educating firefighters on the scene of these fires. Yeah, that's nice. Look, I want to buy this piece, and I have $100 for you right now. Take it or leave it. That's when I said okay and grabbed my pieces and left. So now that you know what happened in that art studio, you'll be able to understand the video that I made, which is linked in the description, to Charles, the husband of the lady who paints the dragons, who didn't seem as despicable in his attempt to try to leverage the idea that we have someone here. I don't know if they thought I was a meth head that stole that shit and then I would take $100 for it. Neither of them seemed interested in the knowledge or the learning. All they're interested in money, making $1. God, I gotta quit yelling. It gets me all stuffed up every time I do it from now on for whatever reason. But I explain in the video linked in the description that I direct at Charles. I'm probably not going to give it to him. I got both of their phone numbers, before the asshole from Rat King art. It's digital art. He's a fucking computer tech guy. He's probably just a gamer. And his storefront isn't open to the public. He's given that space. He doesn't rent it for $5,000 a month like everyone else who has to sell that amount of product. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. But I know that by the end of the video, I tell him that guy's going to burn in hell. And I mean every word of it. Link is in the description of the video that I gave to Charles. But I'm not going to send it to either one of their phone numbers. However, I did mention during my conversation with them when they asked, what's your name? Oh, Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder 2 is the name of my YouTube channel. They didn't seem too interested in listening to anything I had to say, so hopefully neither of them caught on. But if Charles did, links in the description, Charles. If you listened closely enough and you heard the name of my YouTube channel, there's a video made for you, directed at you. Linked in the description. It's titled Rats and Dragons. There's a reason that guy comes from a place that he calls Rat King, and yours is called Drawn to Dragons. Kanye West said, me and Trump, we got dragon energy. That guy next door to you, he's got rat energy.